of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Good morning. Here we are once again to do a daily devotion. Straight to scripture now. Found in the book of Luke. It's found in the book of Luke. And this passage of scripture deals with faith as well. You know, sometimes when people get destitute, desperate, there's nothing else to do, like we like to say, other than go to the Lord, which should have been the first thing, which should have been the very first thing that we do, to go to the Lord in prayer. As we look at this situation here, we see a desperate man, a man who was left by the roadside to beg, to ask people for assistance, to ask for alms. And that's a rough situation to be in. But then he hears a commotion, he hears a noise, and he knows when they told him who is passing, what he can get. You see, when we look at the scriptures, we must always remember our own predicament. We must always remember what is it that we are going through. Some people are going through some very difficult time and they don't want to call out to the Lord. Luke 18:35, it says, and as he approached Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the road begging. As I said before, this man, he was sitting there and he was asking for alms, begging the people that pass. Hearing a crowd passing by, he inquired what was happening. Jesus of Nazareth is passing by, they told him. You see, God has these divine interventions that he uses to be able to awake the rest of us, to go to higher heights, to soar to higher heights. And when I first read this, again, when I look it over again this morning, I prayed and I said, Lord, that faith that is here in the scriptures, I want that faith, Lord. I want that faith, not only for me, and I ask this for you now, but that you may have that faith also. So the scripture says, so he called out, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. At the end of this is an exclamation mark. He knew that Jesus could help. He knew, he understood that. Sometimes when we pray not believing. Or there is some blockage there that is causing the power of God not to come out. Maybe some things are doing in our lives. And I ask God to point out those things for me. That people may not think that the word of God does not have power again, that God does not have power again to act through his servants. That is very, very, very important. The world is still in a place where when things really happen, that they ask for prayers. Like this blind man, I cry out to God sometime, and my prayer is only, God, help me, Lord, help me. That's my prayer. I honestly tell you that. And you know something, when I pray like that, my Father comes to my rescue. My Father comes to my rescue. My back is against the wall and I don't know how to turn, where to turn, who. I know to turn to the Lord, and this man knows. His voice is saying it. Then those in front told him to keep quiet. Sometimes people want you to accept. It's like the friends of Job. When they came, said, boy, you must have done something wrong. What did you do? Some wickedness you're hiding from us. You see, the accusation of the world sometimes try to hide Jesus from us. That's what these people are doing. That then this man, stop it. Stop shouting like that. Stop making noise. Don't talk. We must not allow the world to take our eyes off of Jesus. So, but he kept crying out all the more. He kept crying out all the more. The more they tell him not to do it, the more he did it. He realized because Jesus was moving. And if he got out of reach, they would not hear him. Or so he thought. So what did he do? He desperately shouted out. So, like I said, for me, I desperately shout out when my back is against the wall. Son of David, have mercy on me. See, he knows who he's talking to. He knows who he's talking to and what he wants. He wants mercy from who? The Son of David. Not because he was blind, he found an excuse. He knew some things. He knew who Jesus was. That's a problem people have today. People don't know Jesus. They may have heard about him, but they don't know him. But I see something here that is very important, and this just came in my mind, right? What is the most important thing you see the Lord can give? As you will see, he asks for eyesight. I think the most important thing the Lord can give is salvation, and like the thief asked on the cross. It's better that you don't see and you go to heaven. I think it's better. The first thing we need is our salvation. It is the most important thing. And this man, he asked for his eyesight. So Lord, he said, I want to see. I want to see. The scripture does not say this man was blind. This particular scripture did. Sometimes when we get in front of the Lord, we need to learn what is it that we're supposed to ask for. What is it that we ask for? To ask for the right thing from God. Sometimes our needs are not in line with the things of God. Receive your sight, your faith have saved you. And I ask the Lord to give us all this faith that we may be able to ask for ourselves and for others, knowing that he's there, he's real. You're real, Jesus. You're not just a figment of our imagination. You're real.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Ben Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
Pletz Home Builders is the largest house building company in Belize. Pletz combines the best skilled workers, high-grade materials, and the latest technology to produce the highest quality wooden residential structures. Request any size, color, and the home layout you want. Choose from hardwood or painted metal outer walls. Pletz can modify any of their existing house plans to your satisfaction, complete with all the installation services you need anywhere in the country, including ambergris Cree. They can also lift your house to your desired height up to 9 feet. From properly treated and cured lumber to quality sidings and floorings, let Pletz Home Builders give your home the finish you need. For prices or questions, call 823-0398 or go to www.pletzhomebuilders.com. Pletz Home Builders, we build to suit your needs.
Hello Bemopan, welcome back to the second segment in this series of the Trade License Act 2024. I'm Councillor Chris Enriquez, and today we'll be discussing your business productive footprint and how it impacts your trade license fee. Let's break it down. Your business's productive footprint is the square footage of the area where your operations are conducted. It excludes common spaces such as agricultural lands, lobbies, restrooms, stairways, parking lots, storerooms, and shared hallways, unless they are used for profit. Your business falls under an economic classification based on your business type. This classification, as well as your zone, will further determine the rate applied to your business.
Hi, I'm Lauren Milton. I'm the Evaluation Manager here at the Bemopan City Council. I know a lot of people keep wondering what we're measuring when we visit their business. So let's take a closer look at what productive footprint looks like for the different types of businesses. As you can see, we measure the area used for business purposes only. This includes retail space, dining areas, or workspaces. For example, here's how the productive footprint is calculated for a coffee shop, a supermarket, and an office space, specifically an accounting firm. Let's take a coffee shop for instance. Here we see the kitchen, the bar, and the dining areas as productive space. What's noteworthy here is that a restaurant and an ice cream parlor has similar productive space as a coffee shop. Next, we have a supermarket. For this business, we measure the entire retail floor, including aisles, checkout counters, and display areas. The storerooms and employee break areas are excluded since they are not used to generate direct sales. Lastly, we look at an accounting firm office. The productive footprint here includes the client reception, conference rooms, and workspaces where the business's services are provided. Excluded are areas like break rooms, restrooms, kitchen, and non-operational storage. As you can see, productive footprint is the usable square footage where your business is conducted. This excludes common areas like lobbies, restrooms, and parking spaces, except in cases where these areas are used for profit. Remember, productive footprint looks different for different businesses, so be sure to accurately measure your premise to ensure your fees reflect your footprint. It is important to note that Schedule 8 of the Trade Licensing Act sets fixed trade license fees for specific classifications such as traveling professionals and auto dealers.
Knowing your economic classification and accurately measuring your productive footprint isn't the only factor in your trade license process. You must also consider that there are 4 municipal zones and that your business is located in one of them. Each zone has a different guideline that will affect the rate applied to your trade license fee. As a reminder, the new Trade License Act takes effect on January 1st, 2025. Businesses without a trade license by then are subject to penalties and fees. So we encourage everyone to apply early before the deadline, December 31st, 2024. Stay tuned to our next segment where we will answer your key questions. Thank you for watching, and let's build a prosperous Belmopan together.
Start the new year with big savings on your 2025 property taxes. From January 1st to March 31st, 2025, the Belize City Council is offering incredible property tax discounts that you won't want to miss. Prepay your annual property tax by January 31st, 2025 and enjoy 15% off. Pay by February 28th and you'll save 10%. And if you pay by March 31st, you'll still enjoy a 5% discount. But wait, there's more! Senior citizens can enjoy a fantastic 35% discount upon full payment of property taxes for the property they reside on all year round. Please note, these discounts are available only to property owners who are up to date with their accounts. As you take advantage of this discount, we kindly remind all property owners of your responsibility to visit City Hall or utilize our online platform to complete your payments and to ensure your contact information is accurately updated in our system. For more details on these incentives, visit our Belize City Council Facebook page or give us a call at 227-3073, extension 261 or 264. Your Belize City Council. Always about the people.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Measles is a virus that is highly infectious and spreads through the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It often starts with a fever, cough, runny nose, and red, watery eyes, followed by a rash that spreads all over the body. Measles can cause serious complications. But here's the good news. Measles is preventable. The safest and most effective way to protect your child is through vaccination. The MMR vaccine is safe and available at your nearest health centers and clinics. Let's keep our families and communities safe. Get vaccinated. Stay protected. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in partnership with PAHO and UNICEF.
Blessed Gardens is servicing home gardens across the country from the nation's capital and helping Belizeans reconnect with nature. We have everything you need for your home garden, so get growing. We have various types of soils: fortified soil, composted soil, potting soil, and pure compost for your garden. We have quality seeds and over 65 varieties of food seedlings for your garden. We even have organic insecticides available, EM soil treatment, and Polyshade for your excessive sun or rain. Blessed Gardens has all your garden solution in one location. Call 610-5679. Visit us at the Belmopan Market Plaza or enjoy our free deliveries across the country. Blessed Gardens. Get growing, Belize.
Are you hosting an event for your school, church, business meeting, conference, private function, and are in need of a PA system? Then call 610-5679 and have one thing less to worry about. Get your video, audio, lights, songs, and a family-oriented DJ needs met at one great price. Call us today at 610-5679 and let the show begin.
to your heart.
Foundations. Your work must be grounded upon solid rock, and so should your faith. Join Pastor Louis Wade Jr. weekly for Foundations Bible Study, where he goes deep into the Word of God with biblical teachings for better understanding.
And Jacob said, if you bless me, and if you are with me, and if you take me to that place, and if you bring me back, you will be my God. And God said, okay, you were the fool, but I will walk with you nonetheless.
Tune in on PlusTV Sundays 9:30 a.m. for a new program, or catch the repeats on Mondays 11 a.m. and Thursdays 11 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. We would love to hear from you. Write in and share your thoughts, prayer requests, or even post questions you may have regarding the Bible passages. Email plustvbelize@gmail.com. Foundations. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain.
Do you enjoy learning and wanting to know more about Christ your Savior? Then join Phil Sanders in Search of the Lord's Ways every Sunday 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. on Plus TV for half an hour of beautiful hymns and Bible messages. Messages are repeated on Tuesdays at 1:30 and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Search in the Word for God's will. Know more and do more for the God we love. In Search of the Lord's Ways with Phil Sanders is being brought to you by the Church of Christ in your area. Be sure to visit.
Mopping, tiles, furniture, and...
Miss, you don't need all of this, man. Only this you need. We make 4 out of this. And it's cheaper than all of them put together.
I want it.
Green Clean. All your cleaning needs in one bottle.
Attention Belmopan residents, this is an important reminder regarding the proper disposal of debris in our community. As per Statutory Instrument Number 122 of 2005, Section 10, Subsection B, residents are strictly prohibited from placing debris on the buffers. Violating this regulation is considered a ticketable littering offense. Residents are encouraged to use private contractors or contact the Belmopan City Council to make arrangements for debris disposal. If you need assistance with debris disposal, please contact the Sanitation Department at 822-2271, extension 2019. This message is brought to you by the Belmopan City Council. Let's work together to keep our beautiful city clean and safe. Thank you for your cooperation.
City residents, civic pride is all our responsibility. It's about taking ownership of our city and embracing its beauty. But amidst this beauty lies a growing concern. the continuous destruction of city property. And a part of civic pride is taking care of public property. Therefore, the Belize City Council takes this time to remind city residents that these acts are not just vandalism. They are crimes against rights to property and criminal damage to property. Under Chapter 101 of the Criminal Code, within the substantive laws of Belize, a person who, without lawful excuse, destroys or damages any property belonging to another, intending to destroy or damage such property, or being reckless, shall be guilty of a crime. Upon conviction, a person can face up to 1 year imprisonment. We must all do our part to safeguard what belongs to all of us, what belongs to our city. Together, we can make a difference. This is our city. Let's respect it. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
So when we face God, you know something. When I think of the love of the Lord.
Spice up your next event with professional lighting. Call 610-5679 and give your audience an experience they'll never forget. Proper stage lighting ensures stage visibility, motivates, and sets the mood of the atmosphere. We provide services for weddings, concerts, parties, dance recitals, and much more. Captivate your audience. Improve your production today. Call Shamax Productions at 610-5679 for quality and professional stage lighting. Cyber Realty and Development is the leader in providing solutions to the current land crisis in Belize. For homeowners and investors alike, Cyber Realty is offering special deals on half-acre parcels in its new Emery Village development. Enjoy prime land off Mile 37 on the George Price Highway at an unbeatable price. All you need is the initial down payment of $275 Belize dollars. Take advantage and reserve your half-acre home sites today. Emery Village. Join the community. Invest in your future.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
Pletz Home Builders is the largest house building company in Belize. Pletz combines the best skilled workers, high-grade materials, and the latest technology to produce the highest quality wooden residential structures. Request any size, color, and the home layout you want. Choose from hardwood or painted metal outer walls. Pletz can modify any of your existing house plans to your satisfaction. Complete with all the installation services you need anywhere in the country, including ambergris Cree. They can also lift your house to your desired height up to 9 feet. From properly treated and cured lumber to quality sidings and floorings, let Pletz Home Builders give your home the finish you need. For prices or questions, call 823-0398 or go to www.pletzhomebuilders.com. Pletz Home Builders, we build to suit your needs.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever do leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love it, sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love it, sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Good morning, Belize, and welcome to another edition of Rise and Shine. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It is June 24th, and we're coming down to the last few days of the month of June. June, of course, is halfway through the year, which means that once we get into July, we are in the second half of the year, and 2025 will be slowly winding down. Now, this year, we might already forget, but this year was the election year in March, you know, election year. And so the government has jumped into its new cycle because the budget was read just last month, the end of May, and already we see that the unions are asking for money that is not in the budget. So we are looking at a supplementary. I want to talk this morning about where money comes from, because I think people need to have an understanding of where money comes from. And I think that that is one of the reasons why taxation is in the news right now, to show you that, in a sense, the money comes from businesses. The money does not come from public sector, it comes from the private sector. So if the private sector, as the private sector performs, it's the private sector that grows the economy, and then the private sector is taxed. Well, if you can see that so many businesses are behind in tax, what is that telling you about how easy it is to do business or how hard it is in the private sector? And so money comes from somewhere. We'll take a look at that, but can we at least say good morning to Kerm and watch the weather before we start our important conversation this morning? Kerm, good morning to you.
Good morning, Louis, and good morning, Belize. Louis, the weather must be watched.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of rain over the last couple of days.
And it's true. So it's weird and sunshine. Yeah. I think our AC is not on, so maybe we can have a little cooler air in here. But the general situation calls for a slightly moist easterly air flow to prevail. 24-hour forecast calls for sunny with cloudy spells today, along with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms over most areas. Cloudy spells tonight with isolated showers or thunderstorms. Marine conditions, winds are blowing from the east to southeast at 5 to 15 knots with sea state light chop to choppy. Waves with 2 to 4 feet. It's a beautiful day in the sea. Temperatures inland 92 degrees Fahrenheit with 72 as the low. On the coast 86 degrees Fahrenheit with 77 as the low. And in the hills 78 degrees Fahrenheit with 66 as the low. Outlook for Wednesday and Wednesday night is for a few showers and isolated thunderstorms at first, increasing over moist areas. I think it looks like it will get more and more wet again as we move into the weekend. And last weekend, it was some heavy rain that we experienced. I think Thursday, I sent my guys home Thursday afternoon. We couldn't work. Yeah. Friday, we couldn't work. Saturday, I couldn't make up for Friday. Yeah. And then Saturday night, it eased off. Sunday, we no work past Sunday. Yeah. And so that automatically took us like two and a half days behind in work. Because we are outdoor people, or at least, So it's been rough.
It's true, Louis, and that's pretty much what I think the rest of this rainy season is going to look like. It's unpredictable. It's off and on.
Well, the farmers are dancing. Yeah. They get their rain in time. Well, I'm not dancing at all.
I know, and so are many others who has to get a lot of stuff done outdoors, and so we can also be thankful, Louis, that we're in a hurricane season and it's been quiet, and hopefully it keeps that way. I'm not even sure what the predictions were for this year.
Not sure if it's going to be a very, very active year. I haven't heard the predictions either, but it's a very active year with the unions and the government. Yes. Because I think sometime during the budget, the information was that the government had given CEOs a raise.
Yes.
Now, we have not investigated that fully, but to me, during that period of time, Chester was not moving over from Commissioner of Police to CEO.
Yeah.
He wasn't moving.
Yeah.
But after the raise, Chester moved.
Well, maybe that's what sparked the conversation.
Right. And so I'm wondering, it hasn't been verified, but some of the CEOs say we didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
So did Chester ask for it?
Well, that's the interesting question, because it was after the shift that came into effect.
That it came into effect.
And I know that he had in fact mentioned that he was not going to take a demotion.
A demotion.
Right? So
right.
it's
so,
moving forward, you have to raise my pay if you're,
Yeah.
you know, I don't go back in life.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
possible,
possible.
One thing Chester is possible. One thing Chester is a good guy. Would you have Chester as your CEO of your company?
Well, I don't see why not. I don't think he's the only guy that's qualified. In all fairness to all beliefs.
Of course.
But he's qualified.
Yes.
He's qualified. So.
And he is a mover and shaker.
That's right. That's right.
But also all the other CEOs then had to be upgraded.
Well, if you upgrade me, because everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Then you have to upgrade everybody.
So 23 people, I think, or 20
right.
people got.
As well as we had Mr.
We had the CABSEC.
CABSEC had
right.
to be also.
Right. Because those are all the heads of, in a sense, those are all the movers and shakers, because the Prime Minister's office, he is
the
the
CEOs fall under the CABSEC, I believe that's
Ministry of Finance.
Yes. So he's the guy looking at the numbers,
yeah.
And he's like, well, if I'm going to raise you,
we have to raise everybody.
I got to raise
myself. So
I'm going to raise myself.
So that's when the unions, if they were speaking before, we didn't hear them. Yeah. If they were speaking before, they were probably, I don't know if they were talking to the government, talking to each other before that point. But the point where they came to the public domain was when that information came out. But I'll tell you something though. I would put my money at the unions that leaked that information.
It's the unions that leaked it. Well, the thing is, there was information to be leaked.
Yeah, but they leak it because they want some too.
Yeah, point taken. You know?
Right, they want some. Yes. And then this information regarding rental that government is spending over $2 million. 2.5 million.
According to the news.
That's a year or a month? It's a year.
Per year.
Yeah, that's not a lot of money. Yeah. I don't consider that to be a lot of money.
It's not a lot, honestly. For some of the buildings.
No, but it's like how many buildings? It's like buildings all across the country.
Yeah, I was looking at the news last night, and that's where we get the information, you know. But when they broke it down, some of them seem to have been a little bit, you know. Overall, it doesn't seem to be a lot. But I think and I was looking at Paul's story. Paul did a story and interviewed the minister and that kind of thing. And even the unions were saying, why don't we bill?
Why doesn't the union bill?
No. Why don't the government bill? But it's...
Well, they're taking the money. The unions are taking the money. Bill with what? 40% of the wage bill is already going to unions, to public service and teachers. 40%. That is unsustainable. So that cannot happen in any company that is paying 40% of its earnings into salary. Will shut down. It's supposed to be around 25, maybe 28, maybe 30. Because you still also have all of your expenses. You have a lot of other expenses.
You need return on your investment.
You have to have return.
You have to have a security if in case something breaks, something fail, you know. And then the projections, like we want to grow this business, you know.
But the unions don't want us to look at that. But you have to look at that, and that is why the government, in its second negotiation, brought up the issue of, okay, then We will move it from 3% to 4%, but we want to look at pension.
Yeah.
Right? And then the union said, no, we do not want to look at pension. But government has to look at pension because it's the same money bag that will produce salary and pension.
Yeah.
And if I increase your salary, your pension moves.
Yeah.
So it has to be brought on the table. Then maybe you negotiate it off.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with bring it on the table.
No, you have to put all things on the table.
And it's money.
Yeah.
And it's money linked to salaries. Then the union say, no, we don't want that either. Government, the be chance or whatever. So there's a lot of noise in the market, and not all the noise from the unions is legitimate.
Yeah.
Not all of what government is saying is legitimate. So both are creating a smoke screen so that they can have strength in negotiation when they go into the room. But I respect the negotiation. There has to be negotiation. I believe that unions and teachers lost money during the pandemic so that the government could float. Now that the economy is doing better, the teachers and unions should benefit.
Yeah.
Whatever they lost, at least they should get back. And then there has to be negotiation on salary adjustment because of inflation and so on. So I don't have any problem that there is a negotiation as it relates to salaries. I think it is justified.
Yeah.
What is not, what I am uncomfortable with is it's like the unions hold back corruption information, and then when they're ready for a raise, then they're starting to
drop the cards.
Yeah, drop the cards. And the last time that worked, because we were fighting together to have the government sign UNCAC.
Yeah.
And so then we could talk about corruption as it relates to UNCAC to get the government. But to talk about corruption with raise, then I would say, okay, then well, let's pause your increase, let's fix corruption, and then whatever money, like a Doge, let's do a Doge. I have no problem doing a Doge against government.
Yeah.
And then say 50% of what we find will go to your salary adjustment, and then the next 50% go to economic development.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would have but I would pass negotiations, do a Doge, whatever money we find through corruption, then we say, okay, 50% of it. They won't get the whole thing though.
Yeah.
There is no way that just teachers and unions should get all the money. What happened to new buildings that the government need to build to reduce like things like that?
You know, let me introduce another aspect to the conversation. As humans, I think our natural tendency is to desire more and better as time goes on.
Correct.
We want to improve our quality of life, the kind of car we drive. We might not build a new house, but we want to plant some new plants and we make it look different.
Absolutely.
Christmas come, we want to paint, change the color.
Yeah.
We want changes. We want to feel like something good is happening to us in life and we are somehow progressing and moving forward. When I look at the career of a teacher, you're an educator at one point. Were, yes. You were.
I will get to that, but continue. Were, yeah.
And I compare it to how I think and how I live. I would want to think that, and public servants, public officers, my wife corrected me, said not public servants, it's public officers. Right?
Okay.
So
they're not serving no more.
Yeah, it's officers, right? So
office people.
You know, in those careers, to me, there is not much ways. Maybe more for public officers as it relates to those who work with the government in the office, and they can go from a second-class clerk, first-class clerk, they can become an AO, AA, they can become a HOD, that kind of thing. So with those promotions, there's benefits. So you see opportunities for yourself as a person, because you say, boy, if I work hard, if I study, if I do my job right, you know, then I will be rewarded for my hard work.
Right.
And I think it fits into the natural tendencies that we have as humans. We want to progress. We want to move forward. Now, when you are in a system where you feel like, it happen like that. There's inflation, right? Your kids, they grow. They may used to 5 or 3 months, 5 months, and want Pampers and whatever else. Now, they're 16, 17, they're going to sixth form, university, right? The strain on your income increases.
Correct.
So it put more stress on you as a person. And you have to now come up with solutions. Okay, you don't have the kids there.
That's right.
Right? You might be a part of a sandwich generation where you have to give mommy's sick, daddy's sick, or somebody's sick. So you have to look front and back and all around. Car broke down and all of these kind of things.
Inflation.
Right, the inflation. So it put now a demand on you as an individual to create and find a solution to the new challenges that you're now facing. When I look at teachers and public officers through those lenses, and even other professional people, it causes you to wonder, right? It causes you to think, well, how will they do it?
Right.
I went to speak to some public officers, and I was telling them about 20 years ago in my career, when I feel like, boy, I'm going to chance me when I think about the salary I'm going to get. And some of the people in the room say, but that the pay you get right now. I say, you can't be serious.
Yeah, but
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Your company could only pay you at the rate it was growing.
That's right. That's right.
And your pay was tied to the growth of the company.
That's right, the company's success.
A teacher and a public servant, their pay is tied to the economy.
To the government, exactly.
To the economy.
Yes.
So if the economy is not growing,
yeah,
and the teachers and public servants continue to get a raise,
yeah,
that is how we end up with almost half of the budget going to teachers and public servants.
Yes.
So what did you do when your pay at your company could not sustain? What did you do, Colonel?
Well, I had to come up with a solution.
And what was the solution?
Well, I made a shift.
Thank you. Say who shift?
Yeah.
Why did I shift?
Was it the same reason?
Exactly.
All right,
I look at the teaching career.
Yeah.
I look at the pay that I was getting.
Yeah.
I look at the trajectory that I want in life.
Yeah.
I have a family.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I can't be out there every 3 years with a placard.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
I'm sorry if you, I mean I support unions, but you think that I will live my life on the street walking 2 blocks and telling government on us foolish or on us stupid or on an info? Because that's what the teachers and unions have to do. Are they not on the streets every couple of years?
Yes, every
they
couple
absolutely
of years.
are. Absolutely are. And the economy is not growing at the rate at which inflation is taking place, which means that the teachers, as much as they're earning a little bit of money, they're earning less as time goes by because of inflation.
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision. And so if you want a particular standard of living, the government will not give it to you.
Yeah.
And that is just a reality.
Yeah.
You recognized it.
Yes.
I recognized it. But there's a group that don't recognize it.
Well, let me inject this, Lois. When we recognized it, we did a complete assessment on our lives. Like, what happened? And if you understand, how much I make, how much I spend, right? And is this fit into the structure that I have as a person for my finances, right? So, in my situation, I did find, and I think this is one of the issues I will have right there. When I assess, I realized, wait a minute, I couldn't get more money than this, but I had somewhere to point my finger and somebody to blame. What are they doing with the money?
Right.
You understand what I say?
And you can never really control. You can never really control what they are doing with the money.
You can never. It'll drive you crazy.
It'll drive you crazy.
So, I believe now, as it relates to teachers, public officers, they're pointing the finger and they say, oh, only if this never happened, and that never happened, and the raise never come for the CEOs, and they have a list If all in government vehicle ever drive on weekend, and man the flash in there, we have to catch ride, catch bus and fly past you, and the same office never want to pick we up. If they never do this, and this, man vehicle and get one raise.
Yeah, but who the drive the vehicle on weekend?
The same public officers.
The same public officers.
Yes. The privileged ones.
Who the thief money out of the customs, out of the customs part? Who the
public
thief
officers.
It's public officers. Who the collude with
but
who the collude with the politicians at the lands department?
Yes.
Who is
public
collude?
Officers.
It's public officers. Right?
Public officers.
Good. So you say they got too fast.
Because some of these
so that bucket is leaking.
Yeah.
That bucket is leaking. And there is no interest neither from public officers nor from politicians to plug those leaks.
And that's the issue we have.
Yes.
Craig Rochelle says, when trust breaks down, everything breaks down. He said the future of leadership is trust. Nobody trusts the pastor of the church anymore because they say, oh, then they molest the picnic and thief the offering. Nobody trusts the politician because they say, if you want to get rich, you're going to politics. Trust has been broken down. And when trust broke down, the mind have a lot of space to roam. You understand?
Yeah.
Because you could take
distrust
my story.
now, there is distrust
That's
now.
right.
So even the facts and the numbers.
Can I trust them?
No, yes, can I trust them? Right. So, but here is the thing though. This is why yesterday I talked about, right? So I believe teachers should agitate, and I believe unions should agitate. I'm not taking that away from them. And I wish them well in their negotiation. But unions are not negotiating for me.
Yeah.
Government is negotiating for me.
Yeah.
Because it's my tax dollars.
You're paying. You pay the teachers.
I'm paying the teachers.
Yeah.
I'm paying public servants.
Yeah.
And we pay thousands of dollars a month in taxes. And the fact that all of those businesses owe millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars show you that it is difficult to pay taxes.
Lucy, did you say you have a copy of the list?
I just got it, and we'll go through that list.
Yes.
Right? So it's not as easy as the teachers and public servants make it to say, damn, so much money there's so much money. Because you have to add all that money up, and it has to come up to at least 68 million per year.
Yeah.
The money that you find. So it has to come up to that. You're saying, okay, because what the unions are doing is they're going to throw a lot of stuff out. Ghost workers, then 2 days later they throw out rental instead of owner, and then so much days later then they throw out vehicles, and then they throw out concessions at the not concessions but the security thing at the airport.
The corruption.
All of those things that the unions bring out.
Yeah.
The news are reported, but the source is coming from one place.
Yeah.
Because at the point where they want for their money, they are showing you where all the wastage is. But no money is attached to the wastage. For example, I will pay you in money.
Yeah.
And we already have an idea of what that amount of money is.
Yeah.
Therefore, we have to find that money.
Yeah.
So it's not just about saying drivers to drive all weekend. How much money is that?
Being wasted.
It's being wasted.
Yeah.
And then rental with the renter. So how much money is that?
Yeah.
And so that it add, and that's what Doge did.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying we need a Doge.
Yeah.
It's not just saying with the waste money for immigration, or the waste money for customs, or the waste money for now what I want to sleep overnight, or I want to fly all over the world.
Yeah.
No, what Doge did is say 3.5 billion. We need that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not taking away.
Elon.
Yes. We don't need words. We need numbers.
Yeah,
and then because what you will get paid is in solid numbers.
That's right.
Right. So that's the part that I'm saying. So here is again. I'll bring it to this. This is what I'm encouraging teachers and public servants to do: separate from their bid.
Yeah.
Don't want to take anything away from their fight.
Yeah.
For better. I need to make that clear. Don't want. It's like Kerm, you said, like everybody wants to.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is the government cannot give you that.
Yeah. Can't give all the dreams.
Cannot. Your dreams cannot come true.
It's fantasy.
Yes.
What part of it is fantasy, Luz?
That's right.
When I sell a fantasy, a change. It looks like gold. You can still wear it.
The campaign. That's why in the campaigning they said 20%. The teachers deserve the moon and the sky, and then the teacher is after the election. Now the teacher is trying to take those words and bring it to say, see what you said. And
you
now,
promised that's the next thing.
That was campaign. That was campaign. Here is the answer.
Yeah.
Multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
Multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income.
But Louis, the teachers might say, and I'm just going back to them, because we look on the reality. They might argue that, well, you are an educator. You go to school and you teach all day.
Yes.
And then you come home and you have to correct papers and plan for the next day.
Yes.
Where will I find the time to multitask?
Yes. Yes.
I have a wife, a husband, kids, blah, 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 and I have me.
Legitimate. Which is why over the last 20 years that I have left the teaching career, I have gone back to talk to teachers at workshops, seminars.
Yeah.
I have spent all of these time using the passage of scripture that says, in the morning sow your seed, and in the evening do not let your hands be idle, for you do not know what will prosper, whether this or that or both.
Yeah.
When the Bible says both, it means multiple streams of income have been invented. So a teacher, there are thousands of dollars that circulate in the school every day. Thousands of dollars, right? If you are okay, it varies by school, but if you have a school population of 500 children, there's at least $1,000 circulating in that school every day. Yes or no?
Ideal chips.
Ideal chips. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Why?
$5.
Why I know I get in that? Why I know I have the best Milky Way in that mix? Right? You agree?
Yes,
multiple streams of income.
I totally agree. That is the way forward.
Kids need to do assignment. They need photocopy or ink, paper, pencil, whatever. So, and you just start with that. Why is it that around every school, the houses around the school begin to sell popsicle, choco banana,
popcorn,
because money is there. So a teacher teaches in an environment where there's at least $1,000 a day that's during school time. So there is no excuse. No, I do that, as I said, as a workshop and a training with teachers. So just to open their eyes. Because it is true that the teacher has less time than the public servant. The teacher is in a worse situation regarding to time. Because they have to go home and still clear schoolwork with a
husband and wife.
But that does not, but that does not change the situation that it is multiple streams of income that create wealth.
And
it does not change.
Part of it comes with the fact that if that's and that's why I started off by saying I respect educators, because when you choose that career, I mean you choose one hard line of work.
But you
there's
also
restrictions.
Yes, but you also still have to have another income.
I agree, and I understand the concept. Even as business people,
that is correct.
You have to.
Right. What's happening to television right now? We are sitting on television, but the reality of the matter is social media is here.
That's right.
We have to innovate and switch.
Pivot.
And if we are unable to pivot, we die. The end.
We don't teach
and I can't go to government. You can't go pick it. You can't. You just die.
You die.
That is it. And tax still want their tax.
That's right.
Everybody.
And they become suspicious. They say, how you only pay so little bit now?
That is correct.
But this I want to make now.
That is the reality.
I want to make like what I used to make before.
So the teaching cannot be an excuse. You have to. Because if you, and here's the other part, Kerm, that when the teacher and the public servant retire, the pension that they get, that is the pension you will get for the rest of your life. But the inflation and the cost of living continue to go up. So the pension that you have is shrinking. And so if you did not, during the period of time that you are working, create those extra streams of income,
somebody did, they put it at a credit union, but the money create false loan.
Because it's not savings. It's not savings. It is investment. And
I was just
you
making-
know that.
I was just
and you
messing
know
around.
that.
I was just
No, but
messing
it's
around.
true. It's true that they save, they got the Lee Credit Union.
And they thief the money.
Yes.
That's why they should be arrested, Lewis.
Of course.
It's teachers' hard-working
It's-
money. It's your money that
absolutely.
you're giving to the teachers.
Absolutely.
What the credit union and the thief.
Right.
You understand? But go ahead.
But it's not savings.
Yeah.
Like I would go to the credit union and I would borrow money and I would
Yeah.
start that next
A real loan. You
Yes,
get a
a
real
real
loan.
loan and start another business.
Yes.
And I know there are many teachers that have talked to me to say, yes, thank you very much. I have started. I
Yeah.
do this. I do that. Raise
Great.
pig.
Great.
Raise pig. I know teachers right now where they raise pig.
Because the truth is, if you come up with a good business model, you don't have to manage it. Somebody else can manage it
That
for
is
you.
correct. And you
Right?
can continue to teach,
Continue
which is
to
what you
teach.
love.
Yes.
Or, as in my case, the business became bigger than teaching.
Yeah.
Because as I continued to teach, the business that I started, right, it just
Yeah.
started to grow and up to the point where then it was like this.
Yeah.
And so I had to decide,
What do I want to do?
what do I want to do? Do I want to continue to invest a lot in teaching and remain here and the business is going to stay here? Or am I willing to take a risk
Yeah.
and jump over here, and what I wasn't putting in that I'm putting in here, if I put it here,
Yeah.
what will happen? And so that's what happened, that when I reached 14 and I got my gratuity, I took the gratuity, push it here, and I jumped over here, and that's
right.
what happened. You see, so I teach these things to teachers.
Yeah.
Because I love teachers. I recognize the sacrifice that teachers make, and I recognize that the paycheck cannot make it. So yes, I do respect what they are doing, but Kerm, what those teachers get as an increase and what those public servants get as an increase will be eaten by inflation
Yeah.
in the next year or two.
Yeah.
And they will be
Right back.
They will be right back. They
So
will
that's
be.
not the solution.
It's not the
But
solution.
I think, Louis, that
Long term, it's not a long term solution.
we talked about this Spanish show before where life hard for me. I go up on Facebook and I say life is sweet for somebody else. What is the natural tendency?
Yes.
Why I get jealous?
Yes, yes.
Look how you roll, Papa. You don't understand
Yes.
how things hard for me.
But what the Bible teach you, the Bible teach you, do not look at others. You know, my
Do not covet your neighbor's
little
goods.
sister,
Yeah.
is, Velda, the banker. She's retired now.
I know.
I know, retired yet.
Early retirement.
Yeah, but she's doing her thing. She has different business stuff that she does. She was the one who told me the currency. It's called currency because it's a current, it's moving.
Yeah.
And you have to find ways to grab a piece of it. That's really what a business and entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
Is that as money is moving, instead of you to watch the person
Yeah.
who got the money,
Yeah.
watch the money,
Yeah.
and then you
find your way to
because the
insert
money is
yourself.
going to move. And even what comes to you is going to move. You know
Yeah.
that, right? There's
Yeah.
going to be taxes, expenses,
Yes.
money, people, workers, and the money really just passed.
current.
It just passed. It's true.
Yeah.
Right?
High speed.
Yeah.
High speed
exactly.
data.
Right? And you find ways. But then she also said, do not look at the people
Yeah.
who are driving the Benz and the
Yeah.
do not look
Yeah.
at them. It's because many of them owe the bank, like they're driving on behalf of the bank.
Yeah.
They're riding on behalf.
Imagery.
So, yes, so it's just it's an image. So
Yeah.
so you have to watch
The
what you have. So what you owe the bank, you slowly shrink it over
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
so that less goes to the bank, more goes to you. Because just watching those big businesses out there, a portion is going to the bank.
Yeah.
Right? A portion is going to taxes.
Yeah.
A portion is going to all of your workers,
Yeah.
and then maybe after that. So some
eat last.
Yes, exactly.
business money
And
last.
sometimes they can be just one step away from bankruptcy. And by the way, we are working on legislation on bankruptcy, and it's this thick.
Wow.
The bankruptcy bill
Wow.
is this thick, Kerm. 400 or 450, almost 500 pages
Yeah.
of bankruptcy. So bankruptcy is really in the
Yeah.
private sector as that money is flowing. So it is secure
Yeah.
to just have a job where somebody pays you,
Yeah.
and to just be a teacher or a public servant. There is security there, but it is risk
Yeah.
that creates the gain
and success.
And the success.
That's right.
It can't come from government because government is limited by the growth of the economy.
Yeah.
And government, I'm talking about the best government with no corruption.
Yeah.
Nobody to drive per weekend, nobody. And right now what is taking place, Iran and Israel, Trump and tariffs, all of these global issues are playing on the cost of living.
Yeah.
They're playing on the cost of living. And so...
But I said President Trump did an amazing thing, and if you saw the news,
yeah,
ceasefire.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But Louis, you know what I think, Louis? Part of what I disappointed with the teachers is the fact, and the unions, because there was a joint union press conference last week, headed by the NTUCB, and all the head of the unions were there, standing in solidarity with each other. So if you touch one, you touch all. They're like the Defiance nest.
Yeah.
You know? So
strength in unity.
Yeah, of course, you know. And Louis, I what I may want to say, then put forward a stronger foot on addressing issues of corruption. Governments, I'm not pointing on this government. Governments in the history of this nation has been extremely guilty of stealing the people's money. A lot of cronyism, and it's huge sums of money. It's huge sums of money. When I give this contract to you because you're my ballet, and the contract might have, and I know about stuff like that. The contract really might have valued, let's say, 1 million, but they weigh at 4.5.
Yeah.
That's not a little bit of money. And this is happening all over the country. It's in all the different ministries where there are issues of corruption. Look at the stuff what they said just recently with the contracts when they come out. Look at the issue with the credit unions down south. Right? It's everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. And so this now, because of the magnitude of it, because of the repeatedness of it, this has become a part of the discussion. This has become a part of the fight, the push that, you know what, man, enough fear for make I do, because I don't look for one solution or somebody for blame for my problem. That I know they make it. And the truth is, some of the people really know they make it. And when I know they make it, and I said, you the fool, you were the pay me to do fool with the money, then I'll get vexed. Naturally, right? Yes. I want to get vexed. And so the government cannot just excuse itself
the government
from what's taking place.
No.
Because you see some of the same public officers want to endorse the corruption, want to teach the political leaders how you pull the money out of the system, and then I want to make benefit. But a lot of the others don't benefit, and they know about what happened because they are a part of the processes. And they saw what happened, and then they go tell you know what happened today? You shall know what minister do. Man, the contract I mean so much and they want to tell you about if you so much they sign the contract for this phone only value $100, why then they pay $600? These are the kind of issues that I don't want to say the unions put forward more on a stronger footing to say we want to see the issue of the smart stream government system fixed. It needs to be open. The media need to have access. We need that. We need the people to come in and who's with that this morning, right? We need to go in and we need to assess. You know, remember?
That's why I said Belize needs a Doge.
Right, it needs a Doge,
right? You need an independent organization, independent.
Yeah. Right. We need that. When you come and you take the company registry and you hide, you hide who are the owners. I said Paul was asking the minister who owned the building where immigration to pay whatever amount of money, right? The minister promised to give the information. But I'm just saying, it's these kind of things that make people get suspicious and lose trust. And then when I don't know they make it, and I see you the fool, I see somebody fool, I hear about somebody fool, then I get vexed and put my foot down.
Yeah, but
right?
The part that I am puzzled about, that I haven't found a solution for it, is that we were here before with the signing of UNCAC.
Yes.
UNCAC produced the Integrity Commission, Ombudsman, contractor general, etc.
That was what UNCAC produced?
Yes.
I thought those things were even before UNCAC.
Not all of them. There was
okay.
this ombudsman was before, but like contractor general is one of them. There are some tangible benefits from the UNCAC signing, and we should be grateful to the unions for giving that to us as a nation. But remember that on the heels of what the unions are saying right now, they're saying the politicians are raping the nation.
Yes.
Therefore, I want a raise.
Yes, and that's the conversation right there.
Yeah.
That is the conversation. That is the
So
conversation.
it's like, I don't want to rape the country, but I want mines too.
I want mines.
There's like a moral, there's a moral problem in that.
Yeah.
It is a moral problem in that, because I want to stop corruption, and I don't care if it's PUP or UDP.
Exactly, no matter who it is.
I don't care who it is, because if we stop corruption, everybody benefits, including the public servants.
Right.
But are you showing me the corruption to fix it, or are you showing me the corruption just so that you can get your salary? And then as soon as you get your salary, there's silence again.
Yeah.
Until the next time you want salary, then we begin to hear about corruption again. Yeah. I think there is a problem there.
It's a great deal of selfishness
in that approach. Yeah.
It's a great deal of selfishness, in my view.
So, and I think the private sector needs to get involved, because to me this long list of people who owe, and we need to look at the list, this long list of people who owe tax. What happens when taxes are too high? To pay the teachers and public servants, I've thought about it. One way is by increasing taxes.
Well, one way, Louis, that's the main way. That probably is going to be the way.
It's going to be the way, right?
It's going to be the way.
So, taxes.
Yeah.
That's how government gets its money. It's tax.
Yes.
The next way is through loans.
Now, can't go that way.
Can't go that way.
That don't make no sense.
Next way, that through grants.
No.
Nobody will give you money for pay teachers. No organization in the world.
If you give away your morals.
Right. Your moral standards.
All right.
Right? But no, so that can't work either.
Yeah.
And then the bucket leaking, which is corruption. Shutting down the corruption will generate some income. So I don't think there's any other way that money comes in.
Let me inject one other way.
Sure.
Because you, at the beginning of the show, you alluded to the fact that it's multiple streams.
Yes, growing the economy.
So, part of growing the economy has to do with having a level playing field where people have access to table their ideas through a business that will generate income back into their barns. Right? Yeah. But if there are no opportunities because corruption lock people out, it increases the level of frustration, Louis. Because that money is only going to one group of people. And we see in countries where some nations, only the top 2, 3, 4, 5% have all the wealth.
Yeah.
There's no equal distribution of wealth across the country. I was saying the other day, man, well, a lot of people, when you look across this country, they sell vehicles right now.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Because they have no other ideas. What other people, you can see where people want to invest, people want to do something, but what is there to do? So what it does, it saturates a market.
It saturates the market.
And it kills the market.
Yeah.
Because nobody wins. You understand? Prices going way down.
Go down.
Right? So, corruption disallows people from being able to step forward with business ideas and they'll be able to see success in their ventures because there is a level playing field.
And then more politicians go into government because they know that is where they will make their money.
And then they lock off the company.
Right. Because the economy is not free.
That's right.
Because the economy is not free where you can invest here, then you know where the money is. It's over there in government.
That's right.
So now all of a sudden you start to pinch baby and shake hand and hug people and get into politics. Because then from there, then you will
start your company
at the and then feed at the trough.
You feed at the trough.
You feed at the trough.
Yeah, eat big when you feed there.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe. Not only the teachers, but people in this country are seeing. What is the problem with it, Louis? The problem with it is that it's not that as an individual or public, or as an individual or a little group over there, you may not want to address this issue. The issue now, as it has become, requires a large body of people to address it. It requires a large team of people, because if you go and try to fight corruption in any government by yourself, you're in for a rude awakening. They're going to crush you. And so and this is why I feel like I support the unions, not with everything that they ask for, everything they do, but I believe it's a part of our democratic pillar, because that is the way through which a body of people can now address real serious national issues, whether they're corruption or whatever. It takes a body of people like the unions to get results, as we saw back in the day when we got UNCAC signed.
Well, it won't be the opposition right now. The opposition is weak, so it has to be the
We
unions.
really not got no opposition right now, Louis. Honestly.
We have a caller. We have a caller. Caller, good morning. You're on the air live. We have a call? We lost the call. 822-2031. Join the conversation. But we got to take a break.
Well, it's 8:20 already. Wow.
Yeah, it's 8:20. We got to take a break, and when we return, we have to look at the list of, taxes. Boy, tax are no joke. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. You're watching Rise and Shine at PlusTV.
Land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
The total span of the entire structure is approximately 25 meters, and it also has an overall width of 12.5 meters, which includes 2 lanes and also 2 pedestrian footpaths of 2 meters each. The design span for this bridge is basically 75 to 100 years, so that's the expectation of its life.
It's $2.4 million to complete the bridge, and we also did the boat ramp. We had to incur a little bit additional expense because we did the pontoon to be able to allow the residents to be able to cross while we are building. Infrastructure is one of the key elements for economic development. It allows people to generate more income. It does so many things. It will open the whole area for free flow of traffic. It gives you safety, and we're allowing, because of the height of the bridge, we're allowing now traffic of boats underneath. It will enhance the tourism product. It betters the quality of life of the neighborhood, and that's what we want to do. We are here to serve the people, and these projects is a symbol of that.
I wish to announce the renaming of the new bridge, not in a spirit of resentment towards our colonial history, but to honor an individual who truly reflected the country's identity, aspirations, and progress.
It's good. I would say good, and people will be happy to see a new bridge.
I'm very, very elated that this bridge has finally been realized for the people of today. It could change a lot. We'll move better, we'll move faster, and some people might even stop and take pictures because they're a pretty bridge, they're a nice bridge. I like the bridge.
From the minute I heard about it, something that I personally wanted done, this is a welcome news for Punta Gorda.
Plex Home Builders is the largest house building company in Belize. Plex combines the best skilled workers, high-grade materials, and the latest technology to produce the highest quality wooden residential structures. Request any size, color, and the home layout you want. Choose from hardwood or painted metal outer walls. Plex can modify any of their existing house plans to your satisfaction, complete with all the installation services you need anywhere in the country, including ambergris key. They can also lift your house to your desired height up to 9 feet. From properly treated and cured lumber to quality sidings and floorings, let Plex Home Builders give your home the finish you need. For prices or questions, call 823-0398 or go to www.plexhomebuilders.com. Plex Home Builders, we build to suit your needs.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Hello Bemapan, welcome back to the second segment in this series of the Trade License Act 2024. I'm Councillor Chris Enriquez, and today we'll be discussing your business productive footprint and how it impacts your trade license fee. Let's break it down. Your business's productive footprint is the square footage of the area where your operations are conducted. It excludes common spaces such as agricultural lands, lobbies, restrooms, stairways, parking lots, storerooms, and shared hallways, unless they are used for profit. Your business falls under an economic classification based on your business type. This classification, as well as your zone, will further determine the rate applied to your business.
Hi, I'm Lauren Milton. I'm the Evaluation Manager here at the Bemapan City Council. I know a lot of people keep wondering what we're measuring when we visit their business. So let's take a closer look at what productive footprint looks like for the different types of businesses. As you can see, we measure the area used for business purposes only. This includes retail space, dining areas, or workspaces. For example, here's how the productive footprint is calculated for a coffee shop, a supermarket, and an office space, specifically an accounting firm. Let's take a coffee shop for instance. Here we see the kitchen, the bar, and the dining areas as productive space. What's noteworthy here is that a restaurant and an ice cream parlor has similar productive space as a coffee shop. Next, we have a supermarket. For this business, we measure the entire retail floor, including aisles, checkout counters, and display areas. The storerooms and employee break areas are excluded since they are not used to generate direct sales. Lastly, we look at an accounting firm office. The productive footprint here includes the client reception, conference rooms, and workspaces where the business's services are provided. Excluded are areas like break rooms, restrooms, kitchen, and non-operational storage. As you can see, productive footprint is the usable square footage where your business is conducted. This excludes common areas like lobbies, restrooms, and parking spaces, except in cases where these areas are used for profit. Remember, productive footprint looks different for different businesses, so be sure to accurately measure your premise to ensure your fees reflect your footprint. It is important to note that Schedule 8 of the Trade Licensing Act sets fixed trade license fees for specific classifications such as traveling professionals and auto dealers.
Knowing your economic classification and accurately measuring your productive footprint isn't the only factor in your trade license process. You must also consider that there are 4 municipal zones and that your business is located in one of them. Each zone has a different guideline that will affect the rate applied to your trade license fee. As a reminder, the new Trade License Act takes effect on January 1st, 2025. Businesses without a trade license by then are subject to penalties and fees. So we encourage everyone to apply early before the deadline, December 31st, 2024. Stay tuned to our next segment where we will answer your key questions. Thank you for watching, and let's build a prosperous Belmopan together.
Start the new year with big savings on your 2025 property taxes. From January 1st to March 31st, 2025, the Belize City Council is offering incredible property tax discounts that you won't want to miss. Prepay your annual property tax by January 31st, 2025 and enjoy 15% off. Pay by February 28th and you'll save 10%. And if you pay by March 31st, you'll still enjoy a 5% discount. But wait, there's more! Senior citizens can enjoy a fantastic 35% discount upon full payment of property taxes for the property they reside on all year round. Please note, these discounts are available only to property owners who are up to date with their accounts. As you take advantage of this discount, we kindly remind all property owners of your responsibility to visit City Hall or utilize our online platform to complete your payments and to ensure your contact information is accurately updated in our system. For more details on these incentives, visit our Belize City Council Facebook page or give us a call at 227-3073, extension 261 or 264. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize.
Welcome back to Rising
Sweet
Shine,
Belize,
beautiful Tuesday morning. We are here discussing the issues of life And of course, we do believe in negotiation.
Yes.
We do believe that that which is owing to teachers and unions should be their portion. Government has to negotiate on our behalf because it's coming from taxes, etc. And so there is what can be done and what cannot be done. But it's a leaking bucket, and those leaks are corruption. Those leaks are corruption that need to be stopped. They need to be stopped up, right? But there is not just the public sector. This quarrel is in the public sector, but there are also issues in the private sector. Yesterday morning, the senator for the private sector, the senator from the Chamber of Commerce, Kevin Herrera, was at CREM yesterday morning, and he was sharing on some of these very, very same issues that the amount of salaries is already too big. Government is too big because when PUP come in, so much workers come in. When UDP come in, so much workers come in. And so the number of public servants just keeps ballooning up as well too. And so if the number of public servants balloon up, then the wages balloon up and the pensions balloon up. So he was talking about that. But yesterday, government released the amount of people who owe taxes. These are the worst ones. I think these are the worst violators.
Big numbers, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They are claiming that the reason why they are putting it out there is because they have tried every.
Yeah, they have exhausted every other option, right? I was listening to the news, and so it's interesting to see.
So it's I don't know how then. It's not. It doesn't look alphabetical. And it doesn't look by quantity owed.
Whoa! 462,000.
Just right at the top.
My gosh.
Joseph Main.
Yeah, Joseph Main, J&B's.
Security Service.
Wallace Tillett.
To me, that's enough money for knocking out a business. You agree that?
Yeah. And I think genuinely people just want owe money, right? I honestly feel that. This is indicating there's a problem.
There is a problem in the economy, right?
There's a problem.
I agree.
There's a problem.
Because people want to pay their you don't want income tax breathing down your
Luis, because one of the questions we have to ask is, are there real opportunities in Belize?
Yeah.
Are there opportunities? It's a real question. And our political leaders, our government need to be able to answer the question. Our government need to be able to make the people know and feel. You could know when the currency, I love the definition you give. Currency is like a current, a body of water flowing. You are still a body of water. If you go in on the water, you will feel effects of the water. Are there opportunities in Belize? When there's not opportunities, people go into despair and go into hopelessness.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of teachers migrated to the United States, you know, Louis. So did our doctors and nurses.
Yeah.
Right? So we're having a brain drain as well. Right? People migrated. Why? Because there's better opportunities. You know, and so are there opportunities in Belize? And I think that's a legitimate concern. And that's one of the first things where corruption kills. It kills opportunities for others. Because what it does, it creates this little system where only certain people have access.
And government is not getting value for money. If you just select who will bring the contract rather than have open bidding. No, I do not believe in selective tendering.
I do not believe in it either.
I believe in an open
tendering.
Open tendering. So selective tendering needs to be removed off the books.
So we need a piece of legislation?
Yes. That is one for sure.
Yeah.
Because that way...
That will kill your access.
Yeah.
That's a gun at your head, you know, Louis, you realize it?
Yeah.
like the man said, "Boy, I could debate this bill." Yeah. And the gun at their head and say, "Oh yes, I love the bill." Yeah. Pull the trigger. It's like, excuse me?
Exactly.
Excuse me?
Yeah, we have a car.
You have to be crazy, right?
Carla,
you gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy.
Good morning, Pastor Wayne.
Good morning, Don Hector. Good morning.
Don Hector, good morning.
Listening to you all very keenly. I love the passion that you put in your arguments. This is what the country needs at this moment. More voices to throw the truth in the laps of the people. Our nations have been too long dormant. The first government that this country had was in 1964, 6th of January. Full internal self-government, equivalent to right now to the Constitution, except that in those days, foreign affairs was not our responsibility, nor the public service, and defense. I have been comparing to what...
There's some feedback down, Hector. We really want to hear what you're saying.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, hello?
Yes,
hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I am comparing, I'm hearing what you say. I am listening to the demands of the people. And they look like all unions right now are demanding. The hospital, even the police association has made a call, and the public service and the teachers. All that is fine and good. But Belizeans are not being told the truth. What is the economy of Belize at the present moment? First of all, the GDP, our national debt right now is almost about 3 billion. And there are commitments that this government has to pay. We still owe the Belize Bank something about 124 million on that $20 million that the UDP took away from the bank has grown extensively. We are at this moment our industry. I was checking thoroughly what is the situation of our industry. To begin with, the cane sugar industry is in terrible shape. The minister has accepted that their cane crop is dying. I forget what the disease is. Then the other problem is that our roads there were left untouched for too long. One rain and no truck can go in, they are not even a truck. So the sugar is actually bleeding. I think we are going to lose about, I forget how many millions, in undelivered cane and oil cane. The tourist industry, I am told, is not doing well either because of the measures that the U.S. government have laid upon the finances. So the tourist industry is a bit shaky. And the hotels can tell you that even the government can tell you. There is also the cattle industry, one of our major owners. Right now is at the brink of being cut because of the screwworm. That's another big problem. Our citrus industry is not making good headway, from what I am told, from what I heard about Mr. Hugh O'Brien, that the industry is ailing badly. We have other areas whereby, when collection of taxes, for example, this has been a perennial thing that government, for example, the previous government pardoned land taxes to the tune of $19 million was pardoned. So, who were they? They were mostly absentee landlords. And so the whole country at this moment is in need of those measures that I think, Kurt, you have been calling upon them. Solutions. We have been hearing too long after independence that measures will be put in place so that it does not happen again. Where are those measures? It is happening again. It continues up. And so my concern at this moment is that Belize at this very moment needs medication. It needs those two measures, UNCAC the other way, illicit enrichment, acquire those things that have been taken away by politicians. And there are numbers of things. There's the other one that I want to know, the Integrity Commission. Are members paying towards that fund? The last time I checked on that fund for violation was something like 360 something million from way back when this thing was enacted in 2008. The Integrity Commission was enacted, but we found that very few members were paying, so the bills gone up $100 a day, fine, and I don't know where is that. So there's a bunch of money that is floating, but it seems that no effort is being made to collect it. Taxes, there are big business people there that owe amounts of taxes. So this is the predicament of Belize at the moment. We have threats like hurricane season is coming. We have our industry going down. We have our tourism and, of course, cost of living. Because the war in Iran is not over. They are saying hoping for peace, but that's not over yet. Just this morning, I just saw that Israel sent some missiles against certain sites in Tehran. I just read it just now. So this is the position that, but the people must be told the truth and not to create false hope, empty promises. Thank you very much.
So, the private service taking a licking.
As sorry for people when I look at the numbers.
Did you go through these numbers? Which ones jump out at you?
My goodness. I look at the funeral home and I say, but it costs people pay big money for bury people, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. Yeah. I'm shocked at the funeral home. There must be profit.
Yeah, well, there are two funeral homes here because there is.
I was looking at Andrew Munnings.
Andrew Munnings and Milton Paulino.
There's one in Dangriga and one in Belize City, right?
Paulino's is 138,000. And
this is ridiculous, man.
Andrew is how much? 183,209.
Yeah, that's crazy, Louis.
I see Northern Fishermen's Cooperative is here with 8 million.
There's a story about them in the news. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
It's a big story because I don't think we have time to discuss the whole story. But I know the credit union that they did business with is trying to buy over the company because they are a loan at Belize Bank, and then they liquidated the company. But then the assets that they have was way more than what they owed to the bank. So now the credit union they try to step in and say, "Hey, make we pay off the loan because we had a very good working relationship with the co-op. The co-op never ever defaulted on their payments, and then what you guys have totally outweighs what they owe. So let us step in. We want to take away and pay it off, and then we can take the assets and probably sell off the assets or whatever they want to do."
Right.
So, but it's sad, Louis, to see that, you know, their business can't pay their tax, and people in the home can't pay their bill.
Yeah.
Some people struggle to pay their light bill. There's a struggle to pay the bills.
Yeah.
There's a struggle to meet the demands. Louis, something is just not right. And we didn't speak on behalf. Listen.
I see Genesis Arts here for 107,000.
Boy. We used to have a prayer for this, you know.
Yeah.
We put down a spiritual hat this morning and
by
let's
the
pray
2,000.
that God.
By the 2,000.
Yeah. Are people not exercising?
Yeah. Heather Don Leslie, I know this and that corner.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
41,000.
It's crazy.
Eco-friendly solutions. 855,000.
Wow.
So Ahmad Harmouche and this list here, I saw a comment here. I want to read it before we wrap up. I want to read Andrew Munning's comments. Munnings.
Yeah.
He said, Belize Tax Service is posting who owes them tax, but I don't see their name on the list. How many people haven't received their payment from you all? You know, like people who...
Yeah.
But...
Yeah,
why? He says, I am a proud owner, 5 years. From 2003, I've been in court with you all. At the moment, you are getting $2,000 from me without a default payment. That means $2,000 per month. He's trying to pay his back taxes.
Okay.
I told you all from the get-go that Munnings Funeral Services outsource more than 90% of its products and services. We want to get back to that.
Yeah.
When we charge a family $5,000, please understand that $5,000 is not Andrew Munnings' profit. I am proud that at least 14 small businesses and craft persons are able to make business when I make profit. I make my profit from consulting, directing, and executing. See, that's what he needs to bill for.
Yeah.
Then he should be billing, in my opinion, 14 small businesses that feed from you is a problem.
Yeah.
Because if you are collecting that big check,
split that up.
That's right.
The 5,000 gets small pretty quick.
Very, 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 very.
You need more people for dead, and when more people dead, you want
No,
people to live.
yeah. So the business model have to change. Legal stress and financial blockage. You see, an income tax now and give you business advice. It's a posting that I owe you all does nothing to embarrass or slow me down.
It's you know.
Other young businesses are closing down and stressing because of this system. I've been asking you all to show me how a 5-year business is being taxed almost $200,000, and the only thing you tell me is you use a third-party source to find out how many funerals I've done. Our business must pay tax, agreed, but don't take advantage of businesses who are willing to work with you, businesses who contribute their community and find jobs for others. So I cannot pay $200,000, I made that clear. Tax that I haven't collected. You have threatened jail time, and the closure of my business is a sad system without any motivation to own or build in this country. Munnings stand strong. So that's like hearing from one of those who owe, you know. So your closing comments this morning.
Luce, I don't even know if we close this morning.
Yeah.
We need to jump in the door Mr. Martin have. He said the door is a leaky door. He said bail until it gets shine. If not, you know, leak till it turn over.
Yeah.
We don't want things to turn over. I don't know that, in all honesty to everybody listening, that if we fix all the corruption, you know, fix all of the problems. We do need to fix the corruption.
Absolutely.
Because the corruption is affecting people's livelihood every day. Planting it like rice. And the economy need to flow, the current, with that strength that people have access. Because like what the young man is saying, the money going back into the system. It build the economy, move the economy because other people eat and feed. When things are slowed down and only a few people, they have access, it's not going to work. You create frustration, you create fear, anxiety, depression, all kind of problems, you know? And maybe even crime, right? So we don't need that. And so unions, we need to finish the UNCAP business. And we can't make it political, like it can't be because of PUP or UDP. It has to be of a national, genuine interest. We know they have to try to tear down government. No, that's not. We're here to make the government better and stronger, right? And so there has to be a genuine concern to address issues of national importance for the best livelihood of all involved. And so in that note, Adam, I want to say the unions, when they come together, say, we want better governance, we want fixing things we're broken in the system, that there's more transparency. We want the Public Accounts Committee come back. We want their mechanisms to work. All the offices, Contractor General, so all of the systems that creates a balance of power. That the rule of law then can have its full effect in Belize. Belize are not fool people, no? Belizeans are not fools. We understand the issues of the day. And Louis can take people like yourself in the in the Senate to address some of the issues, to help in a right way. Things have been done right to address some of the issues that's affecting people. We need opportunities. And everybody can win. The economy can grow, and turnover. Everything on the move. Everything on the move. And that's what we need. And so,
yeah.
Aye. We are praying for this to some people that may find out money because
that's a lot of money.
Boy.
I'm thinking based on what Munnings is saying, you know, that they can't pay the money and that all the income taxes threatening them with jail time.
Yeah, that is true. I heard it on the news.
To bring the money in.
I heard it on the news.
When these people, politicians, CEOs, sign contracts that they didn't go through the process, did not do open bidding, who goes to jail?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Only the idea of putting
when, like you say, when the stealing happened from the teachers' union in the South, who goes to jail?
Nobody gets arrested. Where is it?
When money was taken from the not credit union, but the transport department. Remember in Spanish Lookout, there was a story that was out. Nobody's in jail, just investigation.
Even a good friend, Mr. Montero.
Yeah, you see.
Man, they walk free. I think they look for man, but they can't find them.
Free. So our anti-corruption legislations need jail time attached to them.
Yeah.
They need. When that contract was signed at the airport for $20 million with those securities thing, and then nothing happened to it until the media brought it out, and then it was cancelled. Somebody signed it unlawfully.
Yeah.
Why is there not jail time attached to that infraction? Which is millions of dollars. It's millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But here is Munnings. You're threatening Munnings jail time for 100,000, and yet a contract could have been signed where the CEO, they say, "Done on me." Everybody they said that on me, but somebody's name had to be on that contract.
Somebody responsible.
Somebody is responsible.
Have to.
Why is there not jail time?
You sign, and me sign.
Exactly. So the conversation continues. We gotta go. We can't take any calls. I think somebody want to call in, but we gotta go for today. From all of us here at Rise and Shine, God bless you, Belize. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize,